Our news stories today, we will give you information about Dr. Peter Phillips' opinion on the matter of appointing senators ahead of the presidential elections. We will also discuss Mark Goldin's opinion on the 2019 Bunting Challenge and the impact that it had on the recent PNP's loss in the parliamentary elections. Our first story, we will be looking at Dr. Peter Phillips' statement about no new senator being appointed ahead of the People's National Party's leadership race. Leader of the opposition and president of the People's National Party, Dr. Peter Phillips, has stated that with only 3 weeks remaining before he vacates office, he does not intend to fill the vacancy which has arisen in the Senate. Former PNP treasurer and businessman Norman Horn recently indicated that he will be forfeiting being sworn in as a senator to allow the next opposition leader a free hand to appoint their own respective senators to the opposition benches of the upper house of the Jamaican Parliament. Norman Horn was one of the 8 senators appointed by Dr. Peter Phillips. Dr. Peter Phillips intends to demit office when the People's National Party elects a new president on November 7, 2020. Norman Horn, who was unable to attend the swearing-in ceremony for the other senators in September, was not sworn in because he was in quarantine. On appointing the members of the Senate on September 14th, in furtherance of my constitutional duty as leader of the opposition and to ensure that legislative obligations of the Parliament were able to advance, an entire slate was named after full consultation with each appointee. At that time, no date had been set by the party's National Executive Council for a special delegates conference to elect the next party leader. This statement was made by Dr. Peter Phillips recently. Since then, a date has been set, which is less than 3 weeks away, and as a consequence, it is my considered view that the decision to name a new member to the Senate is best left to the next opposition leader. Do you agree with Dr. Peter Phillips? Do you believe that he's doing the right thing? And what are your sentiments about the decision that was taken by Senator Norman Horn, leaving a vacancy in the opposition Senate, benches in the upper house, and of course, his decision to not be sworn in leaves the door wide open for the next opposition leader to select and appoint their specific and respective senators to the opposition benches. Mark Goldin recently stated that he would not be making any requests of senators that were previously appointed by Dr. Peter Phillips to resign if he were to become the next president of the People's National Party. Lisa Hanna has not made any statements surrounding this matter, but we would like to know what her opinion is on this matter as well. Will she be asking persons to resign from the Senate if she becomes the next president of the People's National Party? Well, we await and see. We may not get that opportunity because Mark Goldin may become the next president of the People's National Party, and his mandate is clear. He will not be asking anyone to resign. But the question is, will Norman Horn be sworn in as a senator when presidential elections of the People's National Party has come to a close and a new president has been selected? Will they now choose to consult and make a decision about him being reappointed as a senator to sit on the opposition benches in the upper house of the Jamaican Parliament? For our second story, Mark Goldin is admitting that the 2019 Bunting Challenge contributed to the recent loss by the PNP in the September 3rd parliamentary elections. People's National Party's presidential aspirant, Mark Golding has admitted that last year's attempt by Peter Bunting to take the leadership of the People's National Party from Dr. Peter Phillips contributed to the massive loss that the party suffered in the September 3rd general elections. According to Mark Golding, after examining the circumstances, he believes that the People's National Party's massive loss to the Jamaica Labour Party was as a result of various factors, including the 2019 Bunting's Challenge, a campaign that he supported at that time. According to Mark, I wouldn't say it wasn't a factor. I accept that it was a factor. He also further went on to state that the challenge resulted in a perception that there were lingering issues at the leadership level of the People's National Party. And later he said that most of these issues had been resolved. Jamaica Labour Party took all of 49 seats out of the 63 parliamentary seats at the polls, with the PNP only managing to take 14 seats. Political experts have also cited multiple reasons for the PNP's loss, and they have included even the 2019 Bunting Challenge as a contributory factor. Mark Golding, however, has stated that there are multiple factors which contributed to the rejection of the People's National Party at the recently concluded polls. According to Mr. Golding, these factors include the fact that the party became old-fashioned, the fact that they also lack training and empowerment for party workers. There is also a lack of clear vision for Jamaica, and they were late with their message of hope and finances. I think we have been too reluctant to put our ideas forward for one reason or another. So I think the public as a whole has not really seen us as a strong alternative, ready to take over the reins of the government. Golding further went on to state that if he becomes the next leader of the People's National Party, he will address head-on the divisions within the PNP, which he has said still lingers in the party. According to Mark Golding, we are now in 2020 and we are moving forward, and we need to unite around a common purpose. I think that needs to be accepted by everyone in the People's National Party, and we need to deliberately embrace it and actually commit ourselves in dealing with each other in a way that builds unity rather than fragments in our party. The mending of fences has already started somewhat, as Mark Golding claims that he is receiving support for his candidacy from party members who previously supported Dr. Peter Phillips and the One PNP team during the presidential challenge in 2019. Mark Golding has clearly admitted that a campaign that he supported in 2019 contributed to the People's National Party's loss. However, he is not stating that that is the only reason. He is stating that there are multiple reasons that have contributed to the People's National Party's loss at the recently concluded parliamentary polls. What do you think about Mark Golding's opinions on the reason for the PNP's loss in the September 3rd general elections? Remember, he has cited the party becoming old-fashioned. This means that the party failed to adopt modern ways of thinking, modern ways of doing things. They may not have been utilizing modern technology or modern communication methods to bring across their messages. It should also be noted that Mark Golding also mentioned the lack of training and empowerment of party workers. Therefore, it seems they were not competent enough to actually pass on various messages or to handle the daily operations of the People's National Party. He further went on to state that there was a clear lack of vision for Jamaica coming from the People's National Party, and that they were late in communicating their message of hope and wealth that they had on their mandate for Jamaica. Now like, comment, share and subscribe, and of course, leave your comments down below. We would like to hear what you think about the PNP's loss in the September 3rd general elections. What do you believe are the contributory factors? Are you in agreement with Mark Golding? And also, are you in agreement with Dr. Peter Phillips not to appoint any new senators, considering the vacancy that has been created by Norman Horn forfeiting being sworn in as a senator? And also, he has cited that with the leadership race being just a few weeks away, he believes that it is best for the next president of the People's National Party to choose and appoint their own senators.